Hey y'all, we are here for day number 3 of Fearless, the conversation, the entire week prior to the actual launch of my new children's book entitled Fearless, 21 Affirmations to Build Bold and Confident Girls. And I'm so excited today to have Cookie Miller on. We have had Chrissy Staples on Monday. I had my illustrator on yesterday. Today we have Cookie. Tomorrow we're going to have a fearless female, Miss Ross, Bossy Rossi. And Friday we're going to have Lanessa Moshe on Facebook. So I'm so excited that we are constantly pushing and encouraging this conversation, which I think is so important. And it's so beyond girls. It's, I think, something that a lot of women struggle with is fear, and how fear may have kept them back in some of the things that they have done or that they're doing. So we're just waiting for Cookie to come on in so that she can join our conversation. I hope everybody is doing great. Excuse me, I'm so excited to be wearing short sleeves in comparison to where we were around this same time last week, right? Because we know, if you're in the Houston area, how different the weather was last week versus today. So we're just so thankful to be working back toward a level of normalcy in this city, especially in light of what just recently happened with the snowstorm of last week. So I'm waiting for Cookie to come on in. We are talking about Fearless, 21 affirmations to 21 affirmations to build bold and confident girls. So I'm so excited about that. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Stacy, I'm here. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. All right. So we are in here. Cookie is getting in here. Hey, I have to let you in, Cookie. I'm trying to see how I can let you in here. There you go. Okay. All right, we are connecting with Cookie so that we can get this party started. Hey, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Boo. I'm
Hey.
well. How are you? It's so good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you? It's so good to see you.
Yes. I'm doing good, girl. I'm just glad we're out of that freeze or whatever was going on.
Listen, I just said that it's amazing to be in short sleeves because last week we were bundled up with blankets and what is it called? Snow gear.
Stuff we don't wear out here in Texas.
Listen, stuff that we do not have readily accessible in these Houston streets. I don't know, like it was just the most interesting turn of events last week. So it's so wonderful to have on short sleeves again, and feel good about it. So
Yes.
Cookie, I'm so thankful that you're on the call with me today. We're talking about fearless and how to be fearless, and promoting my new baby book, the book that could. Fearless, 21 affirmations to build strong, bold, and confident girls. And so I wrote this book out of just wanting to encourage young girls, young people coming up, to not let fear stop them or prohibit them in any way in pursuing their goals. And so I've been reaching out to various people that I know well, asking them to come on with me and talk about fear, in their life, and what role it may have played and how they are overcoming fear in their life. And so, listen, we already pre-talked and we said we're going to try to stay on topic.
Y'all, just pray for us. Just because this combination right here, we just pray for us.
We just gonna start talking. I was like, Lord, please help us stay on topic, because this is just recording us doing what talking regularly on the phone. It's just now on camera. Yeah, right. So that's what we do. Right. So let's just get started with the hot seat and then see how we go from there, Cookie, and let's see how things tend to evolve on the call. So first question is, express a time when you have felt fear, the most fear, and why.
Okay. For me, I think often about leaving my last corporate job. And just that moment of driving out of the parking garage and just being like, I'm really not like going back.
I'm out.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm out, and like Pastor Todd said, we out here.
That's it.
Because it was like, you're gonna go into this thing and start your own business. And I already had the business and I was doing both, but to just be out here by myself, like, I gotta bring the money in to survive.
Right.
So that was probably one of the most fearful times ever.
And so y'all that are listening, she's referencing Pastor Michael Todd. We both kind of follow closely. He's a pastor of Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he's in this series called Anchored, and he preached a message recently about being out in the deep, you know, and being out in the situation where you feel like you can't, you know, when you think about being in the deep and being out in water, you know, you are so far away from the shore because you can't touch the shore, right? And you haven't necessarily made it to the destination, right? So you're just kind of like lingering out there, and that can be a very scary place to be, you know. And you know, I experienced that 2019 when I, you know, chose to walk away from retail pharmacy after I've been a pharmacist for over 15 years to pursue fitness on a more full-time scale, and then moving into like books and doing all this other kind of stuff. So it's so it's this deep. You in the deep out there.
Right.
And it's a lot of you're trying to figure, because you know, when you're in a corporate job in a corporate setting, you have an expectation, you know, how things are going to be flowing all the time. And so when you're working for yourself, there's sometimes a little bit of you know, there's difference. It's not automatic. There's a level of work that you have to do to get that. You know what I'm saying? And so there can definitely be fear there.
For sure. You go from a steady income and you go from having health benefits and having all these things to just nothing.
Right.
And it's like, God, if this is going to work, I can only do this with you.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I can only do this if you help me.
So
I was driving down that park garage like, oh my God, Rick gonna be due. I need gas. I better go straight home. Because you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
100%. And I think that there's so many people, and we talked about this earlier this week with a previous guest, that I think that sometimes fear can keep us from doing that very thing that we feel in our heart to do, because we're afraid of that, you know, not knowing what's going to happen, maybe not having clients yet, or maybe having a smaller client list, and still trying to build. That fear can keep you in that place of stagnant place when you want to move on, but you're like, I don't know if I have enough to step out, you know, to do that. And so I think that having faith and really trusting God to provide for you and to take care of you is a huge component in helping you to be afraid, but still walk out and do it anyway. You know, so part of the book, it has biblical references and it has scriptures in it to support overcoming fear, right? Because in our own strength, we can't overcome fear. No, I'm like, I'm not afraid. No, but you know, really, I'm afraid. But I know that if I'm reading God's word and I'm speaking God's word out loud, it gives me power. It gives me encouragement to do that thing that I'm afraid of. I can do it because I know I have God's word, and God's word never changes, and it's a rock that we can stand on. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely an encourager, you know, when you want to do that fearful thing, to remind you that you're not doing it by yourself.
Absolutely. And I hope all the young girls that you're speaking to in your book really not only hear the message from you and read the message from you, but you are living that message.
Right.
You're living fearlessly.
Right.
You know, it's not just the book title. And I have been privileged enough to really see it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about somebody coming from I was just in the corporate world. I was an administrative assistant. So it's not like I was at this super high paying job or whatever. Mm-hmm. Siobhan is a pharmacist. Mm-hmm. Like, I need y'all to think about that for a minute. Right. And she just took the whole thing and said, you know what, this chapter is closing. Yeah. And God is leading me somewhere else. And it doesn't make sense to anybody else when you're saying, I'm a pharmacist and I'm just going to go off and teach fitness classes or do something that has to do with fitness. But you going with where God was leading you is just so inspirational. And I know every little girl who gets the book is going to feel that and feel like they can do these types of things as well.
Absolutely, because it's so again, you get to this place where you like, I'm coasting, I'm comfortable, this is great, but you know that I knew that I wasn't fulfilled, I wasn't happy. And it's not that you should always follow happiness, but I stayed in that position for so long, and I knew that there was a level of satisfaction I did not have. And I was there, but thinking about being somewhere, wanting to be somewhere else, thinking about going to lift weights or thinking about teaching my class, and not really thinking about, giving a flu shot or, or dispensing some high blood pressure medicine. And I think one of the things that kept me there too were my patients, the people that I interacted with, the people that I built relationships with. That was a huge component of staying so long. But after a while, it wasn't enough for me. I was like, I can't, I don't know necessarily all the steps that are next, but I know that the way it is right now, it can't continue in that vein. I cannot continue. And I think a lot of people get to that point, right, Cookie, where you like, look, this right here, I don't know what's next, but this is not working.
Listen, and let me tell you another component of fear in regards to that same situation, because for a long time I did tell the story in that way of like, I was so scared whenever I left my corporate job. But I think last year I freed myself of that, because I was like, I got fired, y'all. I got fired. So let me tell you, but listen, I have been studying for my PT cert. I lost the weight in the corporate job. So I lost 100 pounds in the job. They watched me do it. And I was studying. I didn't tell anybody I was studying. I had my certification. I started my business, still didn't tell them. I was getting off at 4 and going to teach and going to just, a whole bunch of stuff. And I was getting things in order to leave, but I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it felt like God was just like, boop. And he just pushed me right off that cliff, and going down that parking garage was like a free fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like is he going to open the parachute at any point? Because I'm scared. So that's the real deal.
And I'm sure you felt at moments like, can I turn around? Like, can I go back? Like, can I call them? Like, can I, let's rethink this thing. And I think, again, Cookie, let me tell you. So 2019, I left my stable corporate job. And then the pandemic happened 3 months later, right?
That's what I was going to say. You got to tell the people at what point in the year.
So
that's important.
That's important. So leading up to that, right? I had been wanting to leave for years, but I was always just so scared. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm salaried, like all this stuff for years. I'm not like 5-6 years. I've been taking slowly steps out and doing less time at the pharmacy and less time at the pharmacy and doing more time in fitness and more time in fitness. And it was such a scary thing. And so last year, March, the pandemic happened. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm sure Siobhan is going to call back and say, can I have my job back? It's a pandemic, I only left 3 months ago. I'm sure my stuff is still in HR. Y'all can run it back. Let me just run on back to this job. But Cookie, I'm telling you, I felt so much freedom. I felt so much peace, even though I was not like working like that all the time, and we were in the middle of a pandemic, and like that there's the consistency, you know what I'm saying? Like from a financial perspective, all those things had changed, but I had so much peace, even though I had less, you know what I'm saying? And so we can follow that, and again, I'm not saying, hey, I woke up one day and I was like, yep, I'm gonna do it. It had been years in the making. It had been years in the making of just saying, there has to be more than this. There's so much more in me. I find enjoyment in other places, So it was just like it was step. And so last year I watched God provide for me. I watched him. I was scared, right? I was scared, but I left. I left. I didn't call him back, and that can be taken in multiple ways. Relationship too. I didn't call him back, right?
Okay.
I kept going. And I watched God provide for me. I watched God literally open doors for me that even now I'm still like, what?
Wow.
I'm participating in that. And the thing that's most interesting about it is that this is something, Cookie, that only God could have opened the door for me. People can't even be
Absolutely.
mad with me because I was not even putting myself out there like that. I promise you, he opened the door. And
Absolutely.
so circling back around to Pastor Todd's message, that even when you're in the deep and you can't see the way to the shore and you can't see your way to your next destination place, God will still keep you right there when you're in the middle, right?
Anchored.
Feeling like whatever, you
Absolutely.
can be anchored in him, anchored in his word, and he got you.
Absolutely.
I told you this is gonna be Bible study. Y'all pray for us.
I saw it kind of going, and there was nothing I could do to try to reel it back in. It was gone. It was gone. We're gonna try to get back on track.
Cookie, we're gonna try to get back on track. Okay. Okay. Here's the second question. So, what do you feel like is your fear factor? What do you think is the thing that causes your palms to sweat, causes like, your stomach to start turning, or you automatically feel fear? What is that thing?
This is my 7th year or so kind of being like out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, even though I share a lot,
mm-hmm.
oversharing, or the fear of oversharing, or I don't post my family and stuff like that on social media because I am so scared of like the outside energy.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like those are my safe spaces, my friendships and relationships and things like that. So it's like it's hard. It makes me so nervous to post anything.
Wow.
Back in the day when I first started on YouTube, you've been on social media now for a minute. So people can be wild with the comments.
People can be wild. Yep.
And my mom would get online and respond. I'm talking 2015, y'all. My mom, she'd be like, that is my daughter and that is her before and after. Because people were like, that's not you before, that's not you. Right. So she would sit there and so when that started happening, and then once I started to get recognized, I just felt like it wouldn't be a good idea to put my family members into that spotlight if they didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm choosing to take on this pressure doesn't mean I should. So those types of things scare me, I guess, or make my palms sweat, because I'm like, I would like to share some things, but I'm fearful of the response.
Got you. I get that. And I think that protecting your family is wise, because we can be as people very, we say things and we don't necessarily understand the impact.
Yeah.
And we can hurt people like that. And I'm sure people have hurt us by the things that they have said, not always knowing the full context of the situation. And so I think protecting your family is definitely wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Because some things you have to keep private. Taking the key from Beyonce, she don't tell everything.
Don't listen. Queen Bee, I got my beehive back here. You can't see it, but there.
Like some things are better left, unsaid, and some things are worth to keep private and to keep, close to your vest, protecting your family. So, I think for me, my fear factor is, I really feel like I'm being led in a certain direction in my life, and that is a fear factor for me. Because I'm like, Lord, you sure you want me to do that?
Yeah.
You know who I am. Like, where I came from. Like, what I've done. My past. And I'm like, I don't feel like, qualified for that, or that, people might even listen to me for that. And so, Cookie, every time I get those feelings, but I still feel like he's leading me in that certain direction, I have to say, well, remember what God says about you, and remember what his word says. And that changes the narrative. That helps me to remember that, okay, you can do this, because even you said it before, Cookie, even when people don't understand, and people won't always understand, they won't. We have to still go in the direction that we're being led to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Imposter syndrome. So just feeling like you're not there. I was studying for my cert. I had lost 70 pounds at that time, I think. But I had more weight to lose. So it was just like, are people going to be looking at me like, now, how is she going to be a trainer?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
doesn't look like she's in shape. So that was my thing. Was just
Yeah.
so I think that's still another variant of
Mhm.
imposter syndrome. And
Mhm.
to this day, I'm like, what I'm gonna do? Siobhan want me to come and do this live and talk about fearless? Like, what does she want me to say? What am I gonna tell people? You know?
But I,
It's
I think
just
that's so powerful, Cookie, what you said about people. Because I really think that sometimes, I know for me personally, and I've said this on a few of the lives, people and their perspective and how things will look to people has been something that has caused me to not do things and to not pursue things because of how it would look or what somebody would think or what even somebody would say about it. But the truth about it is that, guess what? Folks gonna talk anyway, Cookie. So we have to go ahead out
let
here and
them
just do things.
talk. You know?
Yes, that's
Let them talk.
okay.
Let them talk. Whatever they
Yes.
say, whatever their opinions are. And I found that, it's people are not that scary. I'm an introvert, so but people are not that scary. And
Yeah.
I think most people are rooting for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think most people are rooting for you and are open to it, but in our minds we create this story,
Yes.
about what people will say or what they will think, and we don't even know that. Sometimes I have to ask
Right.
myself, well, what would I think if I was on the other side? Oh,
Right.
well, I would think that's kind of dope.
Let me tell you. So my sister Cherie is a social worker, and
Okay.
she always does this. Like so if I'll say something, she's like, "Well, what led to that thought?" So
Mhm.
we're just having a conversation like this. So she's like, "So what led to that thought? Like, did you have this experience, that experience?" And I think that that's so critical in light of what you just said. Like, you have to think on the other side of that. What is it that's bringing about that thought? Why am I thinking that? Why am I
Right.
having that self-limiting thought? When I can actually think, no, abundance, blessings,
Yeah.
goodness, all those type of thoughts instead of the self-limiting thoughts. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, okay, question number 3, Cookie, because we're
Okay.
going
Okay.
straight.
Fine.
So, how has being fearful impacted any of your life decisions?
How has being fearful impacted my life decisions?
Mhm. Or has it impacted any of your life decisions?
Yes. Yes, it has. I know we have a different question coming up, and I don't want to give that answer away.
Okay.
But fear impacts me every day. Like I said, even about even this situation. But I have learned to kind of use fear
Mm-hmm.
as a barometer for what level I'm going to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How
Right.
scared am I? And then
Right.
however scared I am, that's how great it's going to be.
Come on.
You
Okay,
know
now
what I'm
that's a good
saying?
perspective. I like
Yeah.
that.
The levels to it. So it's like when my heart is racing and I'm like, "Ooh, this is going to be good."
Good.
You know? But it took a few times of seeing that come to pass
Mm-hmm.
before I got to this point. But even like I told you, being nervous about doing this, I was like,
Right.
why am I so nervous? Like I'm on IG all the time. Why am I nervous?
Right.
But I was like, it's gonna be good. Something good is gonna come out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something that somebody is going to take.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing that has helped me is to receive messages from people and see how much they've been inspired or whatever. And it's like, if I don't get on this live with Siobhan, there's somebody who's going to miss the thing that they needed to hear. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? From this conversation. So
Yeah.
trying to remove myself from it and make it less about me
Mm-hmm.
helps me to break through the fear.
That's good. That's so good. So let me circle back here, okay?
Okay.
Because I think the year before last we went to Women's CEO conference
Yes.
with
So
Christy,
good.
with Christy
So
Muhammad, and
mm-hmm.
one of the primary things she said on at the conference that was constantly reiterated is that who is waiting on you
Mm-hmm.
to do what they need to do? Who is waiting on you so that they can fulfill their purpose?
Right.
You need to fulfill your purpose so that you can help somebody else fulfill theirs. And
Yeah.
if you allow fear to stop you, you may be preventing someone else from doing what God has called them to do
Yeah.
because you stayed in a place of fear.
Right.
I never forgot that. That's kind of the message that she reiterated the entire weekend. And I often see that on her social media feeds, that you cannot allow like you cannot stop, because you stopping can potentially stop someone. It's people
Right.
behind you that's
Yeah.
coming behind you, that's waiting on what you need to share, you know, to help them. And that just
Yeah.
speaks to exactly what you were just saying, you know, that something that we may say on this live, something that we may talk about may help someone else. And
Right.
so we would have been remiss to help them if I was like, you know, Cookie, I can't do it today, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Or like Siobhan, you know, whatever. That may have stopped someone from hearing something that they needed to hear potentially.
Exactly.
You know? So,
Exactly. And that even reminds me of my when I first got into fitness and everything, I started doing races. And so one of the races I did was a Spartan race. And that's like an obstacle course style race. So there's all these crazy things, rope climbing and crawling through these tunnels that are literally like, and I had just lost the weight. So baby, I was close. I was close to the edge. They was playing with me with the space. Okay, Siobhan. They was playing with the space. But you have to crawl underground through a literal like
a tunnel.
Yeah. And that exact scenario plays out, because when you're crawling through, you can't see nothing but that literal light at the end of the tunnel. And it's so far away. There's nothing you can see around you, but you hear people behind you. And you know in that moment that I am scared right now. I want to stop and just cry.
Yeah.
And somebody come save me.
Yeah.
But because these people are behind me,
come on,
I have to go.
Come on.
I have to go.
Come on.
So that is how I approach pretty much all situations now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like doing it. I'm like, my clients need me. I got to go.
Yeah.
Siobhan needs me. I got to go.
That's so good.
When you stop, you're stopping everybody behind you.
That's a word. Come on. Come on with the word. Come on with the word today.
Hey, Shell. I see my friend just popped in here.
Hey, Shell. That is a word. That is a word. That is a word. So we have to go, and we have to encourage others to go, because there are people behind us that might not go if we don't go.
Right.
So you can't let fear stop us, because there are people that are behind us that are coming behind us.
Yep.
That's a word.
Yeah.
That is a word, Cookie. I promise. You be bringing a word.
Girl.
Okay, so here's a question. Is there any opportunity that you didn't take because of fear? And would you do anything differently?
Yes.
Okay.
This was in college. In college, I was studying hospitality marketing. So I wanted to do like resort marketing and international as well. So it was international hospitality marketing, right? Very specific. I knew what I wanted to do. God had other plans, but you know.
But you still gonna get that island life, Cookie. I'm in agreement. We still gonna get that island life.
We're going on vacation. We're going on vacation, but we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity at that time when I was studying. One of my professors recommended me to do the Disney Internship program.
Oh.
And I could choose Florida or California to do it in. And I did not go. I did not go. I was scared. I was too scared to go. It was too far away. I didn't want to leave my family. Wow. And I didn't go. And I think about that a lot. I mean, obviously things played out.
Yeah.
You know, it worked out all right. But I just think about that a lot. I'm like, that probably would have been like an amazing experience, even if I didn't end up going into hospitality. I mean, to work, you know, for Disney would have been awesome, but I didn't do it. So that definitely is a missed opportunity that I think about from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I've definitely been in that place where early in my pharmacy career, coming out of school, having job opportunities outside of the South. And I had an opportunity in Michigan. I had an opportunity, you know, in Tennessee. And I just did not take those opportunities because of fear, because of my family, and not because of my family, but not wanting to leave my family, be so far away from them. And just fear of going to a place where you don't know anyone, you don't know the culture, you don't know anything. You're stepping completely out into this new environment. And I didn't take it. And I often think of how different my life would be if I had taken those opportunities. And again, that's part of the reason why I wrote this book, because I don't want fear to control my life anymore. And I think that when we can target young girls early so that they don't feel fear, how many more greater opportunities they will have access to, because fear is not something that they're holding on to or allowing to guide their decision making.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you told me about the book, I mean, I think the first thing I told you is I wish I had it. I wish I had that when I was a younger girl. Like, I wish.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's what we need to hear and need to be, empowered by that. Yeah. I saw a little bit of what you spoke about with Kennedy, and I didn't even know that story.
Yeah.
I only saw like the first few minutes, but I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Now she will always value her art and her contribution.
Absolutely.
And so you're already putting her on a path and instilling something in her to where she knows and she understands who she is and her worth in her work.
Yes.
So,
yes. And knowing that it's never too early to learn that. And you are always, I think that fear will always be around. You know, we'll always have fearful circumstances, situations in our life, but we don't have to let that inhibit us and stop us. And that's the thing. You know, fear is going to be there. We're not going to live in a fearless world. The thing is that even when you experience that fear, keep going anyway. Go through it, plow through anyway. You know, my cousin was on the first live, Tiffany, and one of the things that she said was that she used fear. She used it as a motivator to do what she said she needed to do. And I was like, that was powerful.
Yeah.
You know, use that fear to motivate you to do great things. So I thought that was so delicious. That was just so good. Okay, so next question is, how have you overcome, kind of redundant, or are you overcoming fear in your life right now?
I mean, I've overcome by just doing it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I realized that, like you were saying, you know, the fear is just a part of the process. It's going to come.
Yeah.
I be trying to psych myself up, like I said, and just, okay, like palm sweat and heart beating, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be something big, because I feel this anxiousness, this fear in me. So I know that something good is going to come out of it. Even in this moment, like right now, I feel the energy. Like it's just me in here and my dog Zoe, she's sleeping, and I feel the energy through the phone. There aren't many people in here right now, but that's not the point. This is the internet. This thing is going to travel. You know, I believe that somebody is really going to be impacted to go after that thing that they've been putting off 100%. And waiting until they're not scared to do it.
Absolutely.
You never get not scared.
That's it.
You got to go scared.
You have to do it even if you feel fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
I love that. Feel the fear and do it
anyway. Do it anyway. So, question, what message would you tell your younger self about fear? What would you go back to your 12-year-old self, your 11-year-old self? What would you say? Hey, how can I, move forward without fear? What would you tell your younger self?
I would say, I would say, girl, don't nobody know what they're doing. Your mom doesn't know what she's doing. Your aunts and uncles don't know what the heck they're doing. Your friend who thinks nobody, like, we're all just out here going through life, and we learn as we go, and we, that's it. Nobody knows.
That's it. We're all learning.
So I think that at that age, especially like many young girls, I was probably very much so caught up in what I thought other people knew and thought, and just knew everybody in my mind as a little girl, like that. Everybody's just so much smarter, than me. And they just know things like nobody knows anything. And in this day and age, people really don't know. Okay. You think that they are Googling and then getting back to you. They're Googling, then getting back to you. Okay.
I was about to say, because at least back in the day when we were that age, we actually read. We had like encyclopedias.
Right.
We had that. These days, they don't even have that, so it's all Wikipedia and Google at this point. Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things, let me let you know what Kennedy said yesterday that was so powerful.
Okay.
She was 12 years old. She said this book, the message that she would tell herself is that it's okay to make a mistake. And I thought that was so powerful.
Yeah.
Because I think that as women especially, we live in such a tight constricted thing that we don't want to make mistakes. And even Dr. Gregory, who I had on a few weeks ago, she said that we don't want to fail, but there is power in failing. Like when you fail, when you make a mistake, you fail forward. You learn something about yourself, you learn something about the situation that you did not know prior to that experience. And that failure is a good thing, and that we often try to keep ourselves from failing. You know, so there's even like a fear of failure. Like, yo, I'm not even going to attempt this because I already know I'm not going to do well in it. You know, instead of actually attempting, even if the potential is there to fail, but it's worth it to try, right? Versus not. So I thought it was so powerful for Kennedy to have that assessment at 12. That it's okay to make a mistake, and that you can learn from the mistake and come out greater on the other side of that, you know?
Yeah, that I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That reminds me of what I tell my clients when, you know, they have a week that's not so great or something goes wrong, and I'm like, you didn't fail. And even if you want to label it as a failure, you only fail if you continue to make the mistake.
Yeah.
You understand?
You don't learn from it.
If you don't learn from it. But now that you've gotten to this point, you see, you tried to do this thing, it didn't work, you failed at it. Now you learn. You keep doing it, then you're just making a decision.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I said on the call yesterday that I was so shy in middle school that I would, you know, prior to first period, everybody would kind of congregate in the cafeteria. And I would go and hide in the bathroom because I was just, I was so shy, Cookie. I was so shy. I did not like want to put myself out there and meet people. And so the message I would tell to younger Siobhan, little Shay Shay.
Come on, Shay Shay. What would you say?
Come on, Shay Shay. I would say, girl, come on out of this bathroom and go out here and meet people and live your life and get to know people and enjoy, and don't be afraid. I think it was just the fear of walking into, so when I started sixth grade in Houston. I had my elementary education in Louisiana. So I came here very new, not knowing anyone. You know, it's completely different when you go to a small town where there's maybe three elementary schools versus here, probably Houston has hundreds. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different perspective as far even the amount of people. So just being in that place where you're coming into something totally new, I would just say, go out and enjoy and get to know people. And, you know, you're worth knowing, you know, other people are worth knowing. Get out there and it's okay. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Wow.
You know,
I didn't know you had that experience. Girl. I tell you, I learn something new every time. And I'm like, for those who don't know, Siobhan and I have a similar background, at least geographically, because we're both from Louisiana and then moved to Texas. So I definitely had those experiences, and especially coming to Texas and being from New Orleans and having that accent, you know, they'll clock you real quick. Girl, I had some moments like listen, I said cold drink for a long time. They're like, what? They didn't know.
Yeah,
they say soda here in Texas. Yes. So that was even a whole thing.
Yes, that's right. For us to be so close, like state to state, the difference are just so vast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just so different. Yeah. It's so different.
For sure. But yeah, I used to hide too, girl, just, you know, but I would go hide in the library. So same thing, but I actually did this in high school. I would, in the mornings, there would be breakfast. Everyone would be having breakfast. And I would go in the library and hide and just do my homework or do extra work. So people like, how you graduated, whatever. I had a 4.0, girl, because every morning I was in the library doing extra. I better have had a 4.0. But it was really because I was just so scared. You know, I felt like I was so different. I felt like I was like a introvert, little, just, I felt like nobody back then. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And I think, Cookie, I think that speaks to the power of exactly why I'm promoting this book and exactly why we're talking about this. It's because we want young girls to come out of the bathroom, come out of the library, you know, come out of hiding, come out of feeling insecure, feeling unworthy, feeling that you don't have value. And there's so much in life and there's so much in social media and in culture that can make us feel that way, Cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we pray and we hope everybody has a wonderful upbringing, you know, and they have parents who educate them and empower them and uplift them and let them know how great they are and that they can do everything. But you and I both know that's not the experience of the majority, especially, you know, sometimes people of color. And so I wrote this book to reach out to those people, you know, to let them know, hey, sis, you don't have to hide. You're great how you are. You know, you're beautiful as you are, with your hair the way it is, you know, with your glasses, with your accent, you know, with your walk, with your staff. You know, we don't have to not be who we are, you know, and we don't have to try to like manipulate or mold ourselves into what we think other people would want us to be. It's okay to be you and be great at being you.
Yeah. People are seeking truth.
Yeah.
They want truth. I think 2020 taught us that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that people are looking to see real images and real people and not these made up Instagram aesthetically pleasing you know, looks. Like, people want to see real people, and that's something I'm thankful for in 2020, along with this book. If 2020 had to happen for this book to be birthed, baby, so be it, because this thing is about to change the world.
I'm about to I said that the other day. I had a major loss in 2020, and I've now, in hindsight, I couldn't rejoice, but now I can rejoice that I lost, because in that loss I gained so much more. But at the time when you're losing, you can't see that. You can't see that the loss is sometimes a gain, you know. And Maya, I understand Maya saying that she started college, and she struggled with social anxiety and really nervous. Maya, I'm right there, sis. I have been right there. Every time I get ready to teach a class, every time I get ready to meet with an established client, my stomach starts doing the somersault thing. So I totally get it. But you can definitely walk through it and walk out of it, you know, and know that, you know, there's nothing really. Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's something that looks like it's really there, and it's not. Everything that we're afraid of on the other side of that would be like, this wasn't nothing, you know. But I understand it step by step. You know, Cookie and I are both sharing when we were in like middle school. So, you know, that was years ago. So, this has been a growth process. You know what I'm saying? We didn't wake up one day and was like, yes, fearless. You know, it was a living, you know, constant process. A constant growth process, you know?
Always evolving, always growing. Best of luck to you, Maya, because that transition was, you know, high school to college is tough, and you're trying to meet people. And especially if you're someone who has social anxiety, like she mentioned, which is me. Siobhan knows this, because she invited me to do something, and I'm like, girl, you could come over, but you know, so like I am so nervous around a ton of people.
Cookie,
But for Maya, girl, you got this. You know, you go out, you find some other introverts to hang around, and then y'all can just, you know, y'all vibe off of your own.
Vibe off of the things that make y'all similar.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that yesterday on the live, that I should have, instead of staying in the bathroom, I should have went and found some other young girls who were just as shy as me, you know, who may have had similar interests as myself, and made friends with them, you know, instead of just shielding myself and hiding myself from potential wonderful friends and wonderful relationships, you know? And Chelsea, I agree with you. You know, sometimes the loss is for future gains. But sometimes when we're losing, we can't see that. You know, we just think about what we lost, and we're not really thinking about what good can come from it. But I'm telling you, Cookie, I'm thankful. I wasn't thankful last year, but I'm thankful today for the loss. I'm so thankful for the loss, you know, and I think it takes strength and maturity to be thankful when you lose something.
Oh, right.
You know, Cookie, because we be trying to hold on. I don't be wanting to let stuff. I'm like, wait, we've been friends for 10 years. Wait, we can't be friends no more? Like, you know, but sometimes those things have to change. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly growing. And I think that we're not only growing like numerically, but we're growing like emotionally and mentally and physically, and the things that worked back in 2017, they don't work anymore.
Right.
And that's okay. And it's okay to make that change, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned as I've gotten older is that the ending of certain relationships and friendships, there's no one to blame sometimes.
Right.
I think a lot of times when things dissolve, we want to point the finger at somebody or something that caused the separation of a friendship or whatever. But sometimes it was just that season.
Yes. Come
You know,
on.
and when that season is over, sometimes you got to cut back so that you can flourish again. And that cutting back just may have been that friendship that you had for 10 years. And now that 10-year season is over.
Right.
And you have to be open and welcome the new friendships that come,
Right.
which I'm so thankful that I did that with you in 20, I don't know what year, whatever year it was.
18.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I think that that's so critical about pruning. And, you know, and there's even biblical support for that too. About pruning and cutting things off so that greater things can grow. But it's so hard to do that. You don't want to cut off things and situations and people. But sometimes for growth, you know, for even a more beautiful fruit, the Bible talks about that. The Lord, he prunes. He prunes so that a greater and a more beautiful fruit can grow. But at least I know personally, I struggle with that. I'm like, no, wait, come on, wait, do we have to stop?
Be holding on tight, just holding on tight, just cutting off all the circulation. Listen, everything else is suffering because you won't let go.
Hey, come on and preach up in here today. I'm holding on to you, but I'm hurting myself. I'm cutting off my circulation while I'm trying to hold on to something that is past this date.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
That's a word. Listen, that is a whole
preaching. We preaching today, so thank you, girl. You know.
Listen, we kind of figured that is what would happen today. We were not intentionally trying to do that, but we figured that when we get together, we talk about the word. We get excited about the Lord. We get excited. So, Cookie, this is the last question.
Okay.
How do you define fearless in your own words?
I wrote something. What did I put? Okay. Oh, okay. How do I define fearless in my own words? Fearless is, to me, being fearless is being authentic.
That's good.
I won't even continue. I think
look.
I think we need to sit on that.
Who says that? Who says it all the time? Oh no, you're frozen. No,
I'm frozen.
Yes. Okay. Now you're not frozen. Okay. No, you heard me. I said, "Selah, let it breathe." Like DJ Nice, like D Nice says. He's like, "Let it breathe.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe." Being fearless is being authentic. Period.
Listen, when I tell you that is a word, because we don't see a lot of authenticity today.
We need a whole nother live for that one.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm serious. We do not see that a lot because, and I can be very transparent and say I was not always authentic. I struggled a lot with self-esteem and self-worth and self-value. And so I always tried to conform and kind of fit and mold myself into the particular situation I was going into at the time. But the problem is everybody else is at ease, but you're not.
Yeah.
Everybody else is at ease and they're fine, but I wasn't fine. I wasn't good. I was frustrated, mad, angry, because I was operating in a place that I wasn't being my authentic self. Right. And I think the more and more I grow into that, the more comfortable I can be in any situation. And I think that there's a lot of that missing. A lot of people, and especially in light of social media, and I just got on Facebook last year, but I've been on Instagram for a bit, but I just got on Facebook last year. And I think that there's a lot of that. You know, there's a lot of things you see on social media trying to get you to buy the next thing or do the next thing so that you can be like this person or be like that person or have this or have that. But me celebrating all that I am as I am, that is awesome. That's authentic. And that also honors the God who made us, right? Because, right, look, like I'm tripping about my hair texture, but that's the hair texture he gave me.
Yes.
I'm tripping about how I love to laugh and I'm loud and I'm demonstrative and all that, but he gave me those characteristics for a purpose. And I think that when we embrace that, there's beauty in that. There's authenticity in that. But when I'm out here trying to uh, uh, not change something about myself, you know what I'm saying, or conform to something, I'm doing him a disservice. Because it's like, baby, I made you. That's how I know that about you.
Right.
And it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's
you
a
know?
beautiful thing.
Yes.
It's the thing that attracted me to you, to even be, if you weren't who you were, I wouldn't have been able to be open enough to embrace this friendship, this new friendship, because all my other friendships have been old. I was no new friends to the T. Drake, before Drake said it, no new friends. Even if I didn't, if I had to have 0 friends, that was fine, but nobody was going to be new. So
Cookie was like,
Siobhan,
no new friends.
I would say, is my newest friend, y'all. The past 3-4 years or whatever, but you know, she the only one who was able to get in there. But I understand. I understand. You know,
oh my God,
we have to be authentic. You know, everything online is so fake.
Yeah, man.
It just is, and you know, sometimes it's not on purpose. It's like you say that you're being vulnerable and saying that. I've been there too, because we're just trying to, when you first come into something, you're trying to mimic what's already out there.
Wow.
Because at least for me, I felt fitness Instagram pages and trying to do the things that they were doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't at their level to be doing things they were doing. So I can't just post the challenge and then, you know what I'm saying? So finding my lane and finding where I could really operate in my own authentic self was like, it was a relief, first of all.
Yes.
You mean
Freedom.
I can just get on here and just be like, because this is how I am.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom for real.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
And that's why when you would ask me like, am I loud? Am I being loud? Am I being too loud? That's what Siobhan would ask me. I'm like, girl, you're being you. Like, please, I beg of you, please do not stop being you, because I need you to be this loud all the time. This is what you are my personal, like, Tiffany Haddish. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, this girl has jokes. Her energy is beautiful. Okay.
And see, that's the thing though. I think that in life though, you're told like, be quiet. You're too loud, you know, not for this situation. You need to do this, you need to do that. And I think sometimes that just carries over, you know what I'm saying? That when the authentic you tries to come out, it's so used to being told to kind of push down.
Right.
You know, so it takes fearlessness to be authentic, to be yourself, and whoever that is. Blue hair, purple nails, black lipstick, whatever.
Because it's all popular now anyway.
Listen, and this is the thing, Chrissy, the beautiful thing is that even if it's not, it's okay. It's you. It's you operating in your authenticity. And I think that we don't, and I agree, we don't see that enough. We see people putting on. We see a lot of performing. You know, it's performing arts. Like a lot of us, we didn't take performing arts in middle school, but we be performing arts out here in these streets.
A whole play. A whole Tyler Perry play. Just all on Instagram.
Yes, performing arts out here in these streets. And so I think there is beauty in authenticity. You know, there's beauty in just being whoever you are, you know, and celebrating that and totally celebrating that.
Yeah.
So I would define fearless as I would define fearless as just doing it. And I think that's what Christy and I talked about on Monday, is that even if you feel the fear, do it anyway. And live the life, enjoy it, celebrate, you know, not shrink.
Yes.
I think to be fearless is to not shrink.
Yes.
You know, to be we serve a God who is big. He lives on the inside of us. So why can't I be whatever the greatest thing he's called me to be? Why
Right.
can't I be that? And why can I empower other people to do that as well?
Yeah.
Fearless is, man, we're not shrinking in 2021.
I love that. I
I'm here
love
for
that.
it. I
I
promise you.
love that.
We are not shrinking in
We are
2021.
not. We are
Mm-mm.
not. We're not
No,
making
ma'am.
ourselves small for anybody.
No,
For
we taking up a
anybody.
whole lot
It's
of
not
space.
worth it. Got to. All of it. I'm gonna need make room, girl. I'm gonna need all this. Hey.
Look, I need arm length. I need full body
Right.
length, forward arm width. I need all of that. I need
Give
all
me
the
all
space.
my space.
All of the space. We're taking up mad space in
Yes,
2021 and beyond.
for sure.
Mad space. Yes. So, Cookie, I just so appreciate you. This is what we do off camera anyway. We chat it up.
Yeah, this
Encourage
really
each
feels
other.
like y'all just got a peek into our normal conversation, to be honest. That's it.
Because this is how it goes down. This is how it goes down in the conversation. Always encouraging. And I just want to say publicly that one of the things I appreciate about our new friendship, because you don't do no new friends, but our new
Don't say that. I support new friends now. I just didn't for a while.
okay, growth and development.
Yeah,
Praise God for the growth and
right.
development. Is that there's a constant elevation. There's a constant calling to higher. And so I'm so grateful for friends who always challenge me to increase my capability, my ability, my exposure, the things that I want to do. And so it's always great when you have people around you who support and encourage you. And they even see things in you that you may not necessarily see in yourself at the beginning, and friends who support you. And so I'm just very, very grateful for your friendship, your support, all the love. I just give it right back to you, abundant. God will just continue to bless you and abundantly. And so I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much for joining with me today.
Thank you so much. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get my books. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And I'm so inspired by you. I'm happy for you. I see the way God is moving in your life, and it makes my heart smile. It really does. So y'all look now, because you're gonna be seeing the best-selling author. Go ahead, if you hit up Siobhan, if your child is in what age group is it, Siobhan?
It's about maybe like 8 to 12. Like 7 to 12 is the age group for the book. And so they can either see it on Amazon, or they can get it on my website, SiobhanLeBlanc.com.
Yes. So y'all go and y'all get y'all's pre-order and everything ready, because it's coming on Friday. Get your baby girls affirming themselves every single day, and something that's based on scripture, so that they can grow up and maybe they won't have as many stories about fear as we do, because they will have affirmed themselves in those really important times in their life when they're young.
Absolutely. And they can see themselves on the page. It's so beautiful. We used a lot of Kennedy and her illustrations use children of color. And so it's always good for representation to see yourself, to see yourself on the moon, to see yourself as a doctor, to see yourself as a judge. It's great to see yourself so that you know that nothing is impossible, that you can accomplish all of your dreams and more and do great things. And so that's what we're here to do. Encourage people through the fearless.
Okay, girl. Well, we did it. We did it.
You did it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We enjoyed chatting. Cookie, this is, like I said, this is just normal. this is what we do. We just have a camera on us at this point, but this is normal. Normal.
So if you can't do this with your friends, get new friends.
Check your friend circle.
Check your circle.
You know what I'm saying? Question. They should be causing you to elevate. They should be challenging you. They should be encouraging you and supporting you. If not, you got to check them friend circles. Check those friend circles.
For sure.
All right, boo. Much love to you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank y'all for joining us on the live.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to save the video for me.
Wait, Cookie, hold on. Wait.
Oh.
Wait.
Y'all can leave now because I don't know what's about to happen. I'm scared.
Yesterday on Facebook, I don't think I saved it. So we are going. Bye, Chelsea. Love you. Hey, Shay.
Bye, Chelsea. Bye, Just. I didn't know you were in here.
So much. Thank y'all. Okay, Cookie. So I'm here. So there's 3 dots at the bottom. Hold up. It says turn off commenting, copy link, share. It's not that. Okay.
No. I think it's when you end it. Don't just click off. There's going to be like an option to save.
All right. We're going to try it.
Okay.
Bye.
If y'all don't see it, listen, if it doesn't exist anywhere else, it's Siobhan's fault. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Bye. Thank y'all. Okay. And now.